Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Solostyx here with episode number 2 of Dune Awakening. So the first episode, I showed you guys kind of the beginning of the game and kind of give you a rundown of what the game's like. This episode, I'd like to show you another one of my characters on another server that I play on, and give you some more of the meat of the game and give you an idea of what it can be later on. Anyway, popping the top tonight of some sparkling ice. Got my regular citrus twist tonight. Cheers to episode number 2 of Dune Awakening. Such good stuff. I am going to do at least one more episode and possibly one with my buddy Matt. So let's go ahead and Whoa, hello. Hold on a second. Technical issues here. Whoa. All right, there we go. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this. Let's suit up. Turn this thing up. Turn the volume up. Last time...
Sector weather alert.
Oh, hey.
A large sandstorm is approaching.
Last time I played this, guys, my voice was really quiet and the game was really loud. So I tried to... balance that out a little bit. Anyway, so I just came into the game and you can see this red diamond. This is a sandstorm that's coming our way, and I can open up the map. I'm looking this way. You can see this big sandstorm is going to hit us. So it is going to come right over. As you can see, the map's much bigger. I think I was down in here somewhere when we started the game, down in the southern Haga Basin. Once you cross this gap here, there's a lot to it. And I have one little space up here that I, for whatever reason, still haven't cleared. But anyway, so this sandstorm...
A large sandstorm is approaching.
Sandstorm's going to play. So while this sandstorm's hitting us, I'm going to go ahead and show you my base. This is my base that I currently have. It started out with just this kind of square. I like to keep my base pretty simple. You get a sand bike later, that's your first vehicle, up to this buggy, which I use to mine materials with in bulk. This is a DLC vehicle, which I'm not a big fan of, which is why I have named it the Barf Mobile, because it's terrible. I might show you what that's all about. Basically, this part of my base is all water. You can see that I can have a maximum capacity of 1.26 million milliliters of water. And obviously I have all kinds of machinery down in here for crafting.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
And now it's going to hit. Should be right there. Look at that. If you go outside in the sandstorm, you will die. They're pretty brutal. So I'll tour my base. Hopefully it won't. It has like a lag. Let's go upstairs. Oh. So this is the second floor of my base, my original base. It's mostly storage and power. You can see all my generators there. And then this is a chop shop. I have my vehicle fabricator and just some bare bones vehicles that I repair. I don't do a lot of chop shop. I've actually done a lot of selling of radiation outfits on this to get money. But I do some chop shop stuff where I repair items and sell them for money. This is my Scout Ornithopter. It's the smallest ornithopter. It's a single passenger. It does have some stuff on it, some storage. And that basically concluded my original base. Those are the 3 levels. Then I have expanded. This is the second part of my base. Man, this storm. You can see. Oh, there we go. You can see how that's a pretty good size one. Right, almost dead center over my base. That's crazy. So, this is my second part of my base. Just this open area, which I'm making all my advanced machinery in. That takes up a lot more space. And then I made this wing, which is where I have a drop down here. which I usually bring my buggy in here, and then I come up in here, and I haven't done anything with this yet, but my assault ornithopter, which is a 3-passenger or 4-passenger, you can see you have 3 other seats other than yourself, and the storage is much bigger. So we're gonna talk about deep desert here in just a second, and then I have this third wing here that I'm currently, right now it's empty. It's just a platform, right? You can't see out the window, but yeah, it's just a platform. And then I have my little hidden room down here. But anyway, that's basically my base. I like to keep it simple. I'm gonna go flying for just a second and show you guys what this is all about. Right now, I just upgraded you can see, let's talk about the menu for just a minute. Because there's a lot more. Obviously, the map is huge. It's big compared to the little tiny area that I had open. I love this part of the map. This is I personally love, this is my favorite place to put a base because it's very central to stuff. My buddy Matt has his base right over here. This is his base in this area here. And the advantage of there is because all the aluminum's kind of in this area, and some of the higher level stuff is all here, which is great. And it's also, most of the sandworms do their business out in the sand and leave behind the spice that we mine, which is literally, if you've seen the movies, you will understand that spice is everything. A lot of the spice drops or spice blows are all out here. Some of them end up in this area, this is all drum sand. You can see these highlighted areas. If you drive or run across that part of the sand, it really pisses the worm off. And then this is quicksand. This kind of, you can see the difference in how they look. But yeah, quicksand is bad. I've lost a vehicle in there before and almost got eaten by the worm. Shout out to Matt. Shout out to Kobe. Put a lot of hours into this game. So I love this because you can go out the side of this map in a hurry and actually travel to the other side of the map to get to here very, very quickly. And you can also use the Hogger Rift, which is here, to stay out of the storms, and then come up and I do all my mining of my aluminum, and then I just go back. It's just nice. There's a lot of stuff you can fabricate in here. My storage, I'll show you this really fast. Oh yeah, and I have this suspensor belt. I can actually fly now, kind of. This is my deep desert construction storage. So I take this with me when I want to go to the deep desert and construct a base and mine titanium and the other one, which I'm brain farting on. It is right here. So to make plastinium, which is a high level thing, you have to make these stravidium fibers out of the stravidium ore, and then also the titanium ore. I have like a tiny amount. There's 5 units of titanium, and that's all in the deep desert. So in order to make advanced, like the highest tier of weapons and armor and all that, which I have right now on my still suit, it's the highest level. I'm running duraluminum, which is the second highest level of most of my weapons, except for this guy, which I got for completing something. Anyway, there's a lot. I could get into this and just blab all day long. Obviously, I've opened up a lot of other things. I have gotten deep into my class and opened up. This is my favorite top tier attribute that I have unlocked. All of these you can actually do. There's some trainers and stuff you go throughout the game. They're posted throughout the world map and other places. You can highly beneficial for like this planetologist. It's really good to be able to have level 3 like vehicle mining or whatever. And then also the trooper. I love bits and pieces that kind of contribute to the direction that I like to go. I like to shoot things from far away, and then when I jump up close, the Swordmaster attributes are super great. So the knee charge, and then obviously the Eye of the Storm was my favorite too, and which looks like this. So you can take out multiple enemies with that if they're all right there. Let's go flying. Let's do some stuff. So right now I'm running kind of a hybrid set of clothing. I've got this still suit that is the highest level, right? And then I've got my spice mask on and my soft step boots, which are boots that allow you to walk softly on the sand and not attract the worm. So I'm gonna go mine a couple things really fast. The storm just went over, so it takes a few minutes for the spice sand to reform, but there's a spot. I'm gonna go right here. So you use it looks kind of like a dragonfly, these ornithopters. So you get up high and then you glide, and yeah. So you can see there's a ship down below there. There's all kinds of stuff. Hold on a second. So there's a ship down below right there, and there's some spice, and then there's 2 or 3 different places where you can harvest sandflower, which is where I'm going. There's this one straight out here in front that is my go-to spot, because for whatever reason it's close enough to the rocks that you get no worm sign. So when I say worm sign, I'll show you. Worm sign is a notification that says, hey, the worm can feel your vibrations. See that? They're always out there. You can hear them. Can you hear them in the background? Right? They're there. But I can come out here with my compactor and gather this flower sand, and the worm doesn't even know I'm here. It's freaking great. So these, I think the devs on this one, I don't know if they did it on purpose, but there was one on the map that I was using before, and they took it off. They took it away eventually, and I had to search out my other favorite place to get flower sand. So I can literally almost get all of this without even being. Watch how far I can walk before you see this worm sign. Hear it? See it? Now he can actually hear me or feel the vibrations. If you really want to piss him off, we turn our shield on. That means he's headed our way. So I'll go out. Now he's not gonna. Now it's like we're not even there. So that's flower sand. Let's go get some spice just for fun. If there's some right here. Most likely, this spice is probably on drum sand, knowing where that's at. But let's find out. We'll hover above it and see where it's at. Look around. No sign of the worm. So it looks like it is not on drum sand, but it's right in between drum sand, so it's debatable. So I personally like to get right in the middle of it, and then just go crazy. Now, shout out to Kobe, who, when he first started playing the game, loved to egg on the worm, and he got eaten a few times. You can hear him. Hear him? I'm terrified of the worm, so I have a tendency to be over... overcautious. I've had my fair share of close calls. For sure. Come on, dude. I know you're there. There he is. So we get into, there he is, see him? I get straight into the ornithopter and I go straight up. So he'll go and try to go where I was and try to get me, but I'm obviously not there anymore. So hovering like this with my wings going, you can see that it does wear and tear on my engine and my wings and also the CPU. So I'll show how you repair those. We're gonna... Is that 2 worms? It is. There's one there. And then there was one there too. They like... That was crazy. Anyway, I'm not gonna mine. I'm not gonna harvest the rest of that, and I know I could, and I have plenty of time. But for the sake of this episode, because we're already 17 minutes in, I'm gonna go ahead and not mine that, or not harvest that, because I want to get on. I want to get on with it and show you guys some more of this. This map is great. I personally love where I'm at. Just check out my base from up high. So you can see my platform on the right that I'm adding on to. It's right near all these bases and camps, which is, for me, I love it because I can do all kinds of stuff from right there. So we'll land just in my normal default spot. I was simply, so there's a thing I love in this is a quick deposit. If there's spice in here, I can just go and see it deposited the flour sand and the spice sand that I collected. Spice is everything in this game. If you want to have higher weapons, here's your spice refinery. And right now there's a perk that allows us through the Landsrad. I'm not going to get into that either. Gosh, there's so much, guys. So Landsrad is stuff you can take part in if you're in a guild, which I am. Haven't really done much in this Landsrad. I'm actually like, I've been busy. So we are obviously losing this one. It's 9-1. We're in the House of Atreides. But right now our current crafting is reduced by 25%, which is great because I can go and craft spice. I can do spice melange with only 75 instead of 100. And then I'll turn this guy on. I'll show you what this does. So this guy is for this is what the spice sand does. Right here is a silicone block. So I can craft 180 of those. It takes so many units of water. Right now I have over 1 million milliliters of water, so I'm not worried. We use these death stills over here to convert bodies to water and then blood to water in these purifiers that we've used in the other game. Those are larger ones. Or you can actually go out and collect water. And I have some places I can collect water, but I have a tendency to just use bodies and blood. And I stay pretty high on my collection. But anyway, so I'll show you. I guess I could show you Hog Rift, but I think I might actually do something even more. It is only, what's it, 20 minutes into the game? Yeah, so the map, there's all kinds of missions. You see all these missions that I've got going on? I can zoom out, you can see all these active missions going on, which is kind of crazy. There's all these testing stations, places I haven't even discovered still, and I'm on level 172, which is my highest character on this. This server's higher than any of the other characters I've got going on. So, tell you what we're gonna do. I'm going to go up to this box up here, and first of all, let's change this out. I'm not collecting spice anymore. So I have this box. This this particular box has stuff just for deep desert. So I'm going to go ahead and select. You can select any of your vehicles through this. Anytime you're in one of your inventories right here, you can select. For example, my clairvoyant. I'm all Iron Maiden, so we have Aces High, right? Iron Maiden song. That is my Scout Ornithopter. The clairvoyant is an Iron Maiden song. That is my Assault Ornithopter, and you have 20 inventory spots and a total of 2,000 volume wise. So I take the heaviest stuff, and you can sort these to volume, which is the heaviest stuff from left to right, top to bottom, and I will put the heaviest stuff in there first, right? So that it's carrying the weight, and then the rest of it I will put on my actual character's inventory. That way, so we'll go to backpack, and we'll put these in my backpack, and I still have a reasonable, even though, so I have a tendency to carry a lot of stuff, guys. I've got the still tent for if I get caught in a storm, because you can actually you can use this vehicle. Check this out. This is crazy. If there's nothing in the inventory of the vehicle, some vehicles, not all of them, but like even this Scout Ornithopter, I can put it in my pocket, right? And then place it anywhere. So if I'm out on the map and I'm scouting around and there's a storm, I can literally see if it can get me to let me place it. It's gonna be a pain. Fine. We'll go down here where there's plenty of room, and we'll place it. Right. So you can literally carry that in your pocket if you get caught in a storm. As long as there's no inventory in the actual storage boxes, then you can place it in your pocket, put out a still tent, get inside, stay safe from the storm, and then be good. So when I go to the deep desert, I'm going to carry with me a probe launcher and some probes, and I'm also going to have my welding torch with some welding wire. And I think that my welding wire is in my, I sent that directly to my Assault Ornithopter. So what we're going to do, I only have one large fuel cell, so I'm going to go create a fuel cell. I didn't even look at that. We're going to go to the overworld map, and I'm going to show you some places. This game is huge. I love this game. I have large... No, I don't. We need to make one. So we're going to interrupt our production here. We go down to the bottom, and we're going to create one of these. And then I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to expand this and say, hey, I want to build that first. So in these machines, there's 4 slots and up to 200 volume. If it fills up, it just finds empty space in one of your boxes and sends it there. It's kind of interesting. I think there's probably a way to manage that, but I haven't delved that deep yet into that. So it just sent it somewhere. That's not great because I have no idea where it sent it. That's the advantage of having an empty inventory. So gosh dang it. So what we're gonna do, just for fun, is put that on our person, and then I'm gonna stuff that in our buggy here just to get it out of this inventory. And then I'm just going to create another large vehicle fuel cell because oops, I like to play with keyboard and controller, but sometimes I don't. So now it should, because there's plenty of space. Now it's down to 88 out of 200. Now it will put it actually up here. It sent it somewhere, and I'm not going to go track it down because that's ridiculous. But some of these refined resources, when it sends it places, I don't mind. So we can actually double click on that. It'll send it to our inventory, because if you look, this one's almost empty. Yeah. So we're gonna go up to, first of all, we're gonna go here, and we're gonna put our Strontium fiber in something that's not our vehicle. Now we will go. I'm gonna show you something cool. This is a trooper, not ability, but something you can do. So the sugar wire allows you to grapple and check this out, and then I can fly, literally. I can go anywhere I want. So we're gonna fly over our base into where our assault ornithopter is. This is my little sniper deck here. I love to come out here and just randomly, yeah. Yep, that's great. Anyway, so if I check the inventory, we're going to hold down the button and go to inventory, and you can see it's full. I sent all this stuff directly from my storage to here. We're going to go ahead and get in this guy, and we're going to head directly east, which will put us out of the map. Now see how this one takes up more of the screen? It's much larger, and it flies, it glides a little bit slower, it's a little bit heavier, and it drops faster. So I mean, it weighs more, it makes more sense, right? There are other vehicles I do not have yet. So once you get to the edge of the map, it's going to give us this little prompt. It's going to say, hey, do you want to leave? And I'm going to say, yeah, because I'm getting out of the map. And it should be right about now. Hit that wall. That's kind of like the invisible map barrier. It says, there's nothing past this. You can't go past that. So this puts us out in the overworld map, which is pretty big. I'm excited because the third season's popping out this beginning of this next year. They're adding overworld maps. If we head kind of northeast, we can go to Arakeen. South, we can go to Harko Village, but we are going to go to the deep desert, which is literally, you can see, if you push this button, you can pick a place and select it, and it will track it in theory. And this is as zoomed out as I can get, right? But you can see this, like this little stream right there. That's exactly the way to go. I have tons of water. So normally it depends on what we're doing. We're going to go to this third kind of section, which is going to put us, this is a gridded area, and it's pretty huge. I haven't done much in the deep desert yet, but this is where all the higher tier stuff is that you can get. There are different wrecks and different research stations and things that allow you to get some pretty high tiered materials and different things. What's crazy about this area is it gets wiped once a week, completely wiped. So if you build a base in here, you gotta get your crap out before the wipe. They have a Coriolis storm that comes and just totally levels it once a week. So it resets all the materials that you mine on the regular map, but it totally wipes everything gone off of this map. So you can see there's a wreck down there to the left. Normally when you look at the map now, it'll be completely dust. I mean, you can't see anything. So you use survey probes to open those up. I'll probably go to this rock here and show you what that's all about on my way to my favorite place to build a base is in A1, because it's close to an exit. I will tell you, some of the features of this map are always the same, but the stuff that's in the middle varies. Every week it wipes, it changes. It can changes some of the locations of things. But some of the features are always the same. So this particular rock is always here. I'm going to land and hopefully not fall off. And I'm going to open up my inventory and arm this guy. And load it. I should have loaded one before. So, 20 meters. We're not high enough. We already did that in the first game, I believe, but I think I would normally go up here and do it, but we're gonna go ahead and let's go to this rock here. We're gonna sit at the very base, kind of as high as we can. 750 is anything above 750 meters will wreak havoc. It wears out your wings faster, but it mostly just actually, I don't know if it wears out your wings, but it definitely consumes gas. So we shot out a survey probe, which takes about 25 seconds. I'm gonna drink my drink. Cheers. So in this area there are storms, not as often, or at least not in singular areas on the map, because it's much bigger. It's gridded, as you can see. I'll open up the map and you'll see that A2 is now clear. So it's A2, A1, and you go over all the way, clear over to the right, which is, I believe, A8 or A9. So A9, and then it goes B, C, D, E. I mean, it gets way up in there. This is a pretty big map, you guys. All the way through I. So A through I, and 1 through 9. And it's a gridded map, and the higher up you get, the more PvP there is. Most of this is, we're down here in the A section, is PvE. So I think I talked about last time what the PvE and the PvP means. So PvE is player versus environment, and then PvP is player versus player. So now we're in A1. This is where I usually build my base, in this little crack here. I love it. We're gonna drop down, and if there's a storm, the one thing I love about this is if you look on the map, there is an exit right here. You can't, there it is. You can kind of see the square at the bottom of the screen. So I can get in my ornithopter and fly out and avoid damage while I'm building. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna build a base while we're here, guys. I'm going to take a few things out of my inventory and hope I have enough stuff. Scrap. That should be enough for now. I'm just gonna build a very small basic base. Oops. Wrong tool. You cannot store the ornithopter. This ornithopter, it's way too big. So that looks pretty decent. I'm not worried about it. We're going to make, let's see here. I'm pushing the wrong button. Okay, so we're going to build some structures. I like to go to the front. Oh, hey. How you doing? I like to go to the front here and build from here. And the reason I do that is because I want the door to be... I'm going to put a door that's... Oh, that was bad. I'm trying to find a good... There we go. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we'll build a fairly small base. we're just going to build something big enough to... That's enough. Something to hold a couple containers and a couple vehicles. And just like the regular base that I made on the other game, you have to have power and you have to have let's move our sub-fief. So I try to do this as quickly as possible. The one thing about the deep desert is that your materials are half. So you don't need as much material in this particular area to build. It takes half the material. It's kind of nice. So, make some walls. I have this regular base that I do, and maybe there's a faster way to do it. Maybe they'll come up with some new they have come up with features. So this is where I like to put my door, right? And I do that because I'm gonna have a buggy in here, and even though the buggy is technically taller than the door, there's a glitch that allows you to drive through that. So we're gonna make this 3 high, y'all. Technically I don't need to. I'll probably just make it 2 high, actually, just for you guys. Doesn't need to be huge. Just enough for my vehicles to be in here. Let's just make it 2 high. And then I will put my other stuff in here. Once we get a basic base, I will bring my vehicle in here, and we will, which it's already halfway in here. Peeking through the door. Yep, we just need something that's big enough to fit our ornithopter and our buggy, which is, this will be plenty big. If I had somebody else playing with me, like Matt or Kobe or whoever, I would want maybe slightly bigger base that could fit a couple ornithopters in it and a buggy. So I'd build like a much bigger one. I like to build some edges on the sides, some roof, and then I will build. I gotta pick up some more inventory. I tried to get it down to a science on what I would need to build a very basic base, and then keep it in that box for my deep desert runs. So now I'm going to go back into here, and I'm going to put this back in because I don't need it. I'm going to get out all this stuff because I'm going to create some other things. I need this, and that, as you can hear, maxed this out on inventory. So now I'm going to go over to, it's up in, I believe it's here. So this Pentashield, we're going to select this. It's a horizontal Pentashield, and we're going to, oops, I'm use my mouse because I like to. Go all the way to the edge and hold down the mouse button. Okay, it will power up once we get a generator here, which we have. So scrap metal for a generator. Now we just need to quick deposit. Quick deposited our fuel cells, and if you look, it is now powered for 5 days, which is more than enough because this place gets reset in less than 5 days. So now we have power. I'm gonna go ahead and this is gonna be interesting. I'm getting my vehicle. And put it safely inside where we are water sealed and out of the storm. Actually, I'm going to move it just a smidge over. That's why I like 3 high, because it gives me a little bit more space to maneuver. As long as the body of the long as the body of the vehicle's in here, it won't take damage. The wings could be sticking out. It's not going to matter. So now I think I have enough. Yeah, here's storage. So I like to have 2 to 3 of these storage containers in here to hold various things. Usually I put 3 because I do a lot of mining. Now we can open a storage container and we can go put the rest of this stuff in here. Hello, 4 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock. All right. So I don't have anything else I need. Let's look in our... Yeah, let's put all the rest of our stuff in here just so we can get it out of... Alright, so now we can... Back. I can put more of this in there. We're going to do this. So we can quick deposit. We don't need it, but we can quick deposit more power cells. That brings us up to way more than enough. I only need to power it for a week, so it doesn't take much. I only need 1 generator too, so... Okay, so now we have plenty of slots. It looks like we've got 20 slots. It's way more than enough, and plenty of volume. So we're going to open up our storage container, which we put all our stuff in, and I'm going to take out all of my buggy parts. All the buggy parts for this buggy. My mining buggy. Barely. Okay, good. So I'm going to open my inventory, and I'm going to select welder. Why isn't this door closing? I'm confused as to why this door is open. It's like glitching or something. It says sheltered, no, it says water sealed. I wonder if it's... We're gonna demolish this. And then we're going to... Oops. Let's just do this. Pick up as much of that as we can. Let's just do this. Okay, so walls, we're gonna put a wall there. It doesn't even matter. And then we'll put this guy there. Hopefully that was not going to be a problem. So let's take that out. We're going to select our welding torch, which allows us to fix things. And we're going to assemble our buggy, right? So we have our treads. We'll put our treads on. Now we can put on our engine, and we can put in our CPU, and we can put in, oops, whole utility, the storage, and last but not least, the cut array, which actually mines. And then we need to hold down our button and refuel, which gives us fuel. So now we're up to 23% fuel because we use the rest of that large fuel container. Okay, so now we have our buggy. Our buggy is good now, but if we select our welder and we go to repair, you can see that some of our buggy is pretty used. So what we'll do is we'll actually repair just a little bit, right? Because your vehicle parts just out of use will wear out, and these ones don't usually wear out unless you get caught in like a windstorm or something. I've found you can be pretty abusive to these buggies, and they are pretty resilient. I did get my buggy stuck once, and luckily I didn't have to, because if you get it stuck, you can actually you'll have to take it apart and pocket it so that you can take it back to your base. I actually landed right here in this little tiny gap, like this, and I just took my wall out. I took my wall out and was able to drive my buggy in and put my wall back. But so let's just get let's go for a drive, guys. Oh, the engine's not repaired. That's not good. So let's get the engine. See, it was red. Boom. Okay, that looks better. Let's go. Let's get out. Oh, come on. It's just stuck on the edge. Make a liar out of me. I see what you're doing. It is a little bit tough to get out going backwards. I don't know why. So we're going to turn around and go forwards. And it, for whatever reason, lets us go forwards. So here we are. Generally what I like to do, because I have no idea where the stuff's at, I like to get out in I'll bring my scout ornithopter in here and fly around and scan the area and find out where my resources are. So right now we have nothing. We could go scan the map to see if there's any research centers or wrecks or whatever on this map, but it's not going to show us where the research. Look at all the power cells. So this is actually a good place to mine power cells. So in these vehicles, I'm in the vehicle, I can literally hold down the X button and say, okay, move to the turret. Right? No, I said move to the turret. My character will move to the turret, and I can zap these fuel cells, and it goes straight to our inventory. So if you look in our inventory, look at that, 810 units already of power cells. I literally could, this is a great place to get power cells, guys. I found there's aluminum. I actually do most of my material collecting now in the deep desert because there's so much there. I just showered you guys. How do you like that? Look at that, there's another one. 2 more. Holy smokes. So in the original, when this game first came out, I was told by Matt that the deep desert was much more difficult. Oh, there's some stravidium. They didn't have stravidium and titanium in the A sectors back in the day. So it was a lot harder to mine back when it first dropped. I see some titanium. Lots of scrap, and look at all the scrap. It's like I shouldn't even have to bring scrap and power cells with me when I make my base, but it's just easier to have it in inventory. There's some titanium. You get about 122 units each time we mine with this cut array. This cut array is Mark 6, which is the highest. It's not a specialty cut array. There are higher ones. And I noticed that vehicles have a little bit of a difference in the way they look depending on the tier of the quality of them. The basic ones are kind of darker. And so this is kind of a hybrid. I have some Mark 3 and some Mark 4. But look at the storage and the cut array are Mark 5 and 6. And look how kind of cool and shiny they look, right? So a little bit of a difference. And it's going to get dark on us. So the one bad thing about a buggy is even if your inventory is empty, it is not a small enough vehicle for you to pocket with your vehicle tool. Bummer. What are we at? 49 minutes. Man, I gotta cut this episode. We gotta finish. So we can go around and mine, and you can see these little, if you get out of the vehicle, you can get out and get these little, see there's little pieces. You have copper ore there, these little extra pieces of titanium. Not only does it give you a little bit extra, but it gives you experience every time you pick those up. So it's worth it. But if I'm in a hurry, I don't usually bother. Anyway, we don't really have time. Running out of time. I love driving around in the buggy, man. Let's go ahead and go back to our base and head back to the regular map. we might stop at Arakeen on the way back, just to show you what that's all about. Arakeen is the city for Atreides. See how it barely fits? It's I would usually put a Pentashield right there and do like a 3-level deal, but so I'll park it like that. We're gonna get into our ornithopter. We're good. Our base is water sealed. We have power for like a week. We can get in here and take off. And I'm gonna leave that material that we got in our buggy because we'll be back. We'll be back to mine. Like I said, there'll probably be some kind of over in that area. Usually there's some wrecks, but this way is where the exit is. This little gap over here. Glitch. So I'll say one thing about this developer. They are the same people who made Funcom. They made Conan Exiles, and Matt also turned me on to Conan. I love Conan movies, and so I had an interest in it, but I didn't actually have the game. So my good friend Matt, shout out to Matt, he's awesome. He gifted me both Conan Exiles and this game, and then I in turn gifted them to Kobe. So shout out to Kobe. A lot of good hours of fun playing these two games with both of those guys. But yeah, Matt started playing Conan when it was new, and he was like, yeah, this game's very meh to begin with, but Funcom went ahead and kept adding and adding and adding. So we're gonna mark Arakeen on here, and I should have enough fuel, and I have tons of water, but it should be kind of this direction ish. No location tracked. Hold on. Track location. There we go. Anyway, he said that it was kind of meh when it came out, Conan. I didn't start playing Conan until last year. And I put in a lot of hours, but it had been developed. There we go. It had been developed a lot of stuff added. So by the time I played Conan, it was a totally different game. So this is where the House Atreides, this is their city, right? If you've seen the movies. I don't know if I talked about the movies a lot. I think I did in the first episode. And stuff. So this is a separate server than the one that you play on when you play your character. So you have to wait for an opening, right? And there's a little cutscene when it has accepted you. So I'll talk until that cutscene. But anyway, Matt played Conan forever before I did, but I was great. The reason I bring it up is that same developers more than likely are going to put a lot of effort into adding to this game for quite a while, probably for several years. Conan's old, and they're still adding stuff and updating and pretty freaking awesome. So you will probably see me play this game for a while. You won't see me play it because, unfortunately, like I said in my last episode, I am closing my channel. This is taking forever. There it goes. So it gives you this little cutscene. You can skip it, and I will. That's pretty cool. So once you're in. There are lots of things you can do. There are some missions you can do here, but mostly you're here to use the bank, which is in here, to deposit or withdraw Solaris, which I have.
Would you like to deposit or
I've used a lot.
Solaris?
So I used to have over 1 million in here, but I'm down to 416,000 Solaris. This is where you can buy. It's like a public market. You can buy and sell stuff, and sometimes there's stuff in here. Like, for example, I'm looking for certain components. I go and look for components every once in a while because there's certain things that are a pain in the butt to get. and I'd rather just buy them. Sometimes there's good deals, sometimes not. There's also, man, there's a lot in here. There's a place you can go change your appearance. It costs you 6,000 Solaris. This lion kind of symbol, that is where you pay taxes, and I actually need to pay taxes, so I will. Yes, I know. Can't get away from taxes regardless. I'm playing a damn game, people. I just paid property taxes in real life yesterday.
You again?
So, pay my taxes. Now, you see two different things. I have the Hit Pit Gym, which is this is named after $1 Million Baby, my base and my character, everything $1 Million Baby. So, great boxing movie. I can pay this one. Okay. And then this one's actually a buddy of mine's. So, John, shout out to John. John plays on the server. He's played a couple times on this server I'm playing on. I'm trying to be kind by paying his taxes. I don't know if he'll play again. Hope you do, John. But so that's, taxes are paid, and it's like every 20 days. So taxes are paid. My bases are powered. I can literally. That's the minus about this game, is they kind of make it so you have to keep playing unless you don't care about your base. But they have things now. You can back up your base. There's ways to transfer to different servers. They're changing things. Obviously, when I first started, there was a lot more traffic, a lot more population in these bases. I'm just gonna fly by the seat of my pants. I'm pretty sure I can do this without getting direction. See, you can see that ornithopter. That's coming straight from Haga Basin, so you just follow them from where they came. When I first started traveling this overworld map, I would get lost, and I'd be like, dude, where do I go? It's actually really easy now. So we're going to the east side, this little sector here. Sometimes when you travel to your Haga Basin into your server, you'll travel right into a storm. I've done it like 3 or 4 times within a 2-week period. It was kind of funny. You had to hurry up, get back in your ornithopter, fly out into the overworld, and this is the one thing I don't like about sometimes. It puts you on the sand, which I found on the east side right there. It's right next to, you can see it's right next to an island. It's next to rock. So the worm's not going to get you there. You could literally just sit there. With that said, yes, this is all online, and if your power goes out, or your internet goes out, or the server has issues, or whatever, something happens, your game crashes, yeah, you're just like there. So if I'm flying over this and it dies, my game's crashed right in the middle. It puts you right where you're at, on the sand, and your character and your vehicle stay there for 4 minutes, or at least your character does, for 4 minutes before it disappears out of the server. Now, since you're not like walking and creating noise, the worm probably won't eat you, but it's still stressful nonetheless. So back to the base. I think we're gonna call it good. That's an hour, guys. So I got to show you the deep desert. I got to show you the overworld map. I paid my taxes. We crafted a few things. Yeah, see, now it says taxes paid. And my base is powered for 15 days. We're going to go ahead and go to our advanced subfiefs, is right here. And we're going to hold down the Y button and power up our base for another 5 days. So now it's backed up to 20. I'm going to sugar wire out here and show you outside of the base. Oops. Come on. Right here. So I have, in between these two parts of my base, I have, oh my word. I did not mean to do that. It's the underside. See, I have this ramp. I love how you can you can do a lot more with your base. I have some secret entrances here that are only available to me. I like to put my little secret items that I've collected there. I'll go back up here. These are generators, right? They're wind turbines. They generate power, and you have to use this lubricant to keep them going. And I just powered those up. Anytime you're, if they're turned on, and you go to your subfief and say power stuff, it will automatically deposit the lubricant in there, because that provides me with extra power. I run a lot of stuff. If I'm running these death stills, dude, you can see each one of these higher ones are 350 a piece. I mean, not using them right now. So the one thing I've learned about this, Matt kind of clued me onto this, but if you're not using something, turn it off. Right? This is done. Is it? It is done. So we can actually hold down Y, disable it. That's 350 that we're not using. So there's some out here. If I show you these, you can see these make water. And right now, I have them turned. I believe I have them completely. Maybe they're not completely turned off. They should be. They're not disabled. So I shouldn't be using these right now because I have tons of water. Oops. So I could deposit directly from my inventory these filters, which will power up, but I'm going to turn them off because I'm not using them. I'm just not. They're only 75 watts a piece. Not a big deal, but it adds up. So anyway, we're back to the base. Yeah, I'm calling it an episode, guys, because it's been an hour and 2 minutes. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. Pretty neat game. I love it. I'm gonna play another episode where I do some fighting and some maybe a mission or something. Maybe I'll go raid a base, or I'll go to a wreck, maybe assigned to a research station. Something. I just wanted to kind of give you an overlay of like the map. See, this is my favorite little wreck to go to for certain common items. All kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff to show you. But that's it. You got to see a little bit of a sandstorm. We mined some things. We flew around. We built a base on deep desert. I may do an episode with Matt in the deep desert, but for now we're gonna pause it. Oh, did you hear that? That was a spice blow. So this huge, that wasn't very close because it was not very loud. But if it's close, you'll see, first of all, you'll see these little purple bubbles on the surface of the sand, which means it's about ready to blow. And then it'll blow, and you'll see a huge pillar of purple, like a mushroom cloud. And that means that spice that we collected earlier, that'll be right there. You can go collect it. It has like a shockwave. So, and if I look, you can see still on the map that there's that spice field. That's where we collected spice. It's probably still there. So anyway, pause it. Get into this. Let's see here. In this menu. Give me 1 second. Let's turn the volume down on this game. Down. Perfect. We'll take these off. And we'll chat for just a minute. Anyway, so that's episode 2, guys, of Dune Awakening. It's been my love for the last few months. I haven't really honestly played anything else. I was playing Helldivers earlier in the year. I played a little bit of Borderlands 4. But I'm getting ready to update some of my computer. I've been slowly replacing parts. I just replaced my power supply. I'm going to be replacing my CPU and my motherboard and my RAM and pretty much everything except for my graphics driver. My GPU is not I want to, but I'm running a 3060 right now, which is But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Dune Awakening. I will be canceling, or at least no longer posting stuff on my channel. I'm going to be shutting it down. But as I said at the end of last episode, I am going to be playing Resident Evil 9, which releases in February from beginning to end. I'm going to be playing the whole entire game as a shout out to you guys, as a tribute to my channel, because I started it. My first game ever played was Resident Evil 2 Remake. So it's been fun, but life has gotten busy for me. My business is crazy in the summer. I did 60 weddings. Yes, I said 60 weddings this year. So I'm busy, and I teach and I do a lot of other stuff. But anywho, as I always say, guys, first of all, thanks for sticking around. Appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Solostyx signing out, saying as I always say, until next time, y'all, keep it real.